What up, my freaks? Stupid Man Thing here with part 2 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Throt the Unclean Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, we have started clawing our way out of the Hell Pit, taking out first the Nurglites and then the Khornates, and that were in our way, and then following that up with a big battle against the Slaanesh and their single, by the looks of it, main stack. I do imagine we'll still have to work through their settlements, as in we'll still have to fight those, but we're nearly there, and the entirety of the Hell Pit is soon to be ours. And while we might want to leave Sarthorael alone because he's kind of in a location where he's very open to attack from the, well, not just Kislevites, there's going to be orcs and stuff around here. The main issue is that he doesn't like us very much. Historical relations with Sarthorael's watchers being negative will likely mean that we will have to fight the Tzeentchans. On the bright side, that does mean variety. On the less bright side, it'll mean it'll take a little bit longer to get to fighting dwarfs and stuff, and, well, and we do like taking out those beard things, don't we? Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do in this particular turn, I believe we're good. Throt is just sitting there and nobody can attack him. He will take attrition, unfortunately, but there isn't anything we can do about that. And we do have a little bit of cash remaining, and let's see, do we want to upgrade any of this? I suppose we could upgrade the giant fungi caverns here in the main territory, though funnily enough, now this one will actually probably be better off eventually being deleted in place of a public order building, unless we continuously use this particular location to farm food forever, which is another distinct possibility. I mean, I suppose we'll always get it back if we do this, although a single generated, just ignore it for now. I think we have better things to spend our money on when we need to. I do want to get started on the Assassin's hideout, so maybe we'll switch out of Assassin's, or switch out of Efficient Planning, and grab that real quick, because we will eventually want to start upgrading these guys to the Gutter Runner variant. And yeah, see, this is the kind of upgrade that the Warband upgrade mod was absolutely made for. Some upgrades may not make sense, and those that don't make sense I don't like to use, but things like Night Runners becoming Gutter Runners, that's absolutely the case, especially if it's, you know, same type to same type, as they get trained up and become better. It's effectively a slightly better variant of the same exact unit. Yeah, but anyway, if there's nothing to do, all we can do is end the turn and see what, if anything interesting happens. Go. Alright, once again we have that rebellion at the 4th circle there, and once again we're going to use this little army to destroy it and keep farming XP and food for these guys. Just out of curiosity, you are nearly to rank 8, so we ought to resolve this for obvious reasons. I guess we're also training up and gaining ranks on the various Night Runners. This gives us 3 food, 13 of the growth vat, growth juice, whatever, and... well, I guess it is growth vat, isn't it? Well, whatever. And then 700 treasury, which isn't too bad, and then we can get another 850 money. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid. At 1500 gold, this army is effectively, if not quite paying for itself, it is nearly paying for itself by doing that once a turn, and then, you know, getting us the additional food and then getting additional XP. I think it works nicely. Anyway, growth vat batch available, but now we're going to wait for it. Somebody in the comments of last episode pointed out that the reason that it ended was simply that it had reached the end. I thought, frankly, that we still had a long way to go until we reached the Hell Pit abomination point, but it looks like the vast majority is getting to the wolf rats, 500, and then the Hell Pit abominations at 1,000. So not as big of a difference as I had thought. So I appreciate that tip. Income from sacking settlements on Infecticay. I'd love to give this to you, but I think that only assassins can carry those, so unfortunately we can't give it to Throt. Now, speaking of Throt, 2 little things to do. Let's get our first names in there, shall we? You, Rat Ogre unit, you are going to be Swole Patrol. I think we had this name on a unit of Crypt Horrors in a previous Undead campaign. I don't remember which Undead campaign it was, but I definitely remember the unit. Ratabolic Steroids for the other irregular Rat Ogres as well. Oh wow, that Hell Pit abomination is severely damaged. Well, I fear that we won't be able to auto-resolve this due to the severe damage to it. What do we have in terms of garrison? Actually, not much, but nonetheless. Anyway, you're going to move on into the 3rd circle. We could have gone past it and moved towards this, but I suppose it doesn't matter. And they'll steal one of our doggos. But anyway, we still have to do 2 things before we move on in. You two. Alright, you're both supposed to join this army, so you can move in. And you can move in as well, or back in, I should say. Or actually, you can't, because you're out of space, which I hadn't realized. Why are you out of space? I mean, I guess technically you're still holding more clan rats than you really need to. You can... Oh, okay, fine. Go into raiding stance, and... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You can't reach this guy in raiding stance, but we need to be in raiding stance, not suffer more attrition. Well, it is what it is. We'll pop you here, and then we will combine the most damaged units of Skaven Slaves. I'd actually like to keep the Skaven Slave Spears, so we'll merge you two. Hey, you can pop into this army, and then we'll transfer over afterwards. Like so. Alrighty, now, can we auto-resolve this? Wow, apparently not. Alright, it's gonna be a minor fight. We're probably not going to use the piles of Skaven Slaves as reinforcements, so let's fight this real quick and try to prevent the destruction of the wolf rats. Go.
Warpstone commands!
Alrighty, here we go. A small fight to start the day, but not to worry. Small spoiler, I can promise some pretty darn big fights by the end of this episode, or later this episode. Anyway, regardless of the fact that it's a small fight, our army is severely damaged, and in fact, the Hellpit Abomination is so severely damaged it's going to stay back, and we're going to keep the at least one of the Mutant Rat Ogres back. We do need the Morscatar's Hellion up front because it causes splash damage, but otherwise, and we're going to get to work. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off by summoning a unit of clan rats via the menace below on top of the enemy Hellstriders, mostly to bog them down, while we close the distance with the poison wolf rats here. Which will slow them down and start dishing out the damage, while the Rat Ogres, or at least the first of the Rat Ogres, close the distance as well. We are looking to wipe out the Hellstriders and then get back before we take too much damage from the anti-large of the Slaanesh spears. In the meantime, our main line makes its way forward. Clan Rats get the enemy Chaos spawn going, and they are a Slaanesh spawn, but we will counter them with our Mutant Rat Ogre, which is a big boy, and will be dishing out plenty of a single target and damage against them. Otherwise, we have summoned a unit of Rat Ogres here, which is blocking off a blob of enemy Chaos spawn, with the hopes that between them and the Marauders dishing out damage to a summoned unit, our regular army units will take less damage thereby. Our Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers, I believe, rather, still kind of standing in the center of the formation. I was thinking that the enemy would be able to rush through, but it looks like that's not the case, and I guess that's just fine. More and more units are joining the fray now from our own army, of course, as our Packmasters summon those wolf rats, and these ones we will use to bolster our lines, and if they should take damage, we don't care, because again, they're summoned units. It's the one of the fun aspects of playing Skaven. Every single unit of Packmasters represents 2 to 5, I believe, summons at its max level. Similarly, the Vermintide summons from the units of Plague Priests means you can get a lot of extra units on the field, and of course the menace below as well as any other additional summons. Makes it feel nice and hoardy, which is definitely what you want from a Skaven force. Anyway, the battle is still going, though the bounce power has shifted to about, let's say, 90% in our favor. The enemy's right flank has at this point completely collapsed, though we had to back off on the left flank as our units of Rat Ogres did take a little bit of hurt. One unit of Chaos Spawn has been destroyed by our Mutant Rat Ogres, and now they move to the second, trying to use their mass to move through the piles of... Oh, there we go. That poor Marauder exploded into bits. But anyway. I mean, Slaanesh promised them they'd explode. The Slaanesh just did not specify in which manner. Alright, anyway. This wasn't the death they were promised. They were promised a much smaller one. Anyway, or littler one, I should say. But anyway, the enemy army, main army, has collapsed. Only spawn remain, and it looks like the rat ogres have by and large defeated them. Skaven slaves and clan rats still being sent flying by our monsters. Throt a little bit difficult to spot amongst all of the larger units, but he's so close to his brood horror that he won't be too small to see for too much longer. Alright, and there we go. With that, the last of the enemy spawn fall. Oh, actually, there was one more. Okay, well, now the last of the enemy spawn falls, and the battle is ours. Alright, a small one to start the day. We'll go for bigger and bigger as we go. Alright, decent bit of XP, but by the looks of it, not enough to level us to level 12. So close. That's what we're aiming for, but we should have it in a battle or two, depending. Otherwise, we took a little bit of damage, perhaps unsurprisingly, but, why was the wolf rat unit destroyed? It wasn't severely damaged. That's a little bit disappointing. Okay, I guess we'll have to either build or just get another one from the Flesh Labs. That's odd. I specifically didn't destroy it with the other units, but whatever. I know that all enemy units are destroyed because it's a settlement battle, but it doesn't matter. It's annoying when units don't come back. Anyway, we will loot and occupy it again at the base level, I think. It's probably not worth our time to waste food. Yeah, loot and occupy. Soon we'll be on to doing it the other way, as in raising and sacking and whatnot. Oh, we could probably force a rebellion to come in here. And hello, what do we have here? Marble. Unfortunately, doesn't give us construction cost reduction for the Skaven, but oh well, not a big deal. You guys stay where you are. You can keep raiding, I guess, just to make sure that you don't suffer too much damage. Then we'll continue. I guess the loss of one of the wolf rats means we just transfer the other packmaster, which is fine. Actually, speaking of packmasters, we have no further capacity, right? No. But we'll need more. Everybody's gonna need packmasters. This is a Moulder campaign after all, so we're going to have to pay attention to that. And that'll mean probably more tier 3s where we can build a few more of them. Alright, I wanted to go for the Assassin's Hideout here and select a new tech. Control would be nice, but I think for now we can forego it, as in we will get it, but alright, now we're kind of farming negative control. At least we are farming it here, although -2, ooh, it'll be a -21 when we start at 80. Kind of iffy. You know what, maybe not yet. No, we will, but maybe not yet. I guess we could do the food capacity, then food generation and capacity itself, which ain't too bad, and then we'll grab the hit and run afterwards. In fact, we could do it right now. You know what, go for hit and run first. I don't know whether we can actually take advantage of it next turn. In fact, I'm pretty sure that we can't. Yeah, we won't be able to reach it. So, yeah, fine, never mind then. I lied. Let's do the food capacity. Alrighty. That looks good to me. The rest of you look good. We do not collect the income here yet. We hope to reach first circle by the time the rebellion happens so that we can immediately eat said rebellion. You are now suffering negative control at pit bottom. Why? Oh, because you switched back to expansionist planning. Yes, alright, fine. You know what, while we're here then, build up this warren and then go back into efficient planning. And yeah, we can build the clan barracks, but it doesn't really offer us too much of anything right now. We don't get the bonus, so we already have the capacity extra for chieftains, and we can't afford storm vermin, nowhere close, so yeah. Alright, skip, imminent rebellion, yeah, we know. Let's double check heroes. Chieftain, and we do need to send a couple of heroes out. Who are the cheapest heroes, incidentally? Well, they're getting more and more expensive, which means we're going to need more and more capacities of them. And somebody also pointed out that the one of the sort of capstones, let me just see here, one of the capstones for the monster augments is this one, Bloodworm, which basically makes your units into undead and gives them the hunger as well, which should be pretty interesting, as thus anything that affects the undead will affect these guys, which means we're going to need to get some undead allies. So among the other factions that will want to ally, we'll probably want to head down to Vlad and see if he's willing to be friendly. And I suppose the And the Silver Pinnacle's closer, so we may stop on by there as well. Anyway, ignore the rebellion and turn. Alright, there's the rebellion. What do we have here? Test of loyalty for Mr. Cracronid 10 Scratch. It's time to test just how loyal, devoted your warlords are. A test is needed, but should such a trial be mental or physical? So, +1, and then hero action success chance versus ambush success chance +50. Kind of irrelevant to us right now. I guess we'll just do the Ashen Stalker. Ashen Stalker, have Ashen follow this one. Make it known that the Watcher is always there and able to strike at any moment. This should ensure confession. Yes, yes. Kind of funny, or actually appropriate to make him, you know, an Ashen Assassin follow an Ashen Assassin around. Ashen Stalker it is. Alright. And Rebellion at the Hell Pit. There we go. Food capacity 1. Dominating scheme is back up and running. Growth Bat Batch available. Growth Vat Batch. I keep saying it wrong, but anyway. We'll probably want to pop up the dominating scheme. Well, actually that's a question. We could leave this little army, or we could uncollect the income, kill it, and then maybe allow the public order here to rise again. Might be the way to go now. So that we can, you know, have this army start doing things rather than just sitting back and relaxing. Maybe that's what we should do then. Alright, fine. Even if it feels a little bit premature, we could also send them to Khazad Board Karag rather than down to these guys, though I fear that these guys would have a lot of trouble facing against a proper Dwarfen army without more shurikens. The other option would be to leave this army here. Well, no, you know what, I don't know. Alright, so, we'll do this. Kill this first. And auto-resolve it. For obvious reasons. And hey, we got a Talisman of Endurance out of that, not bad. And, I wonder, and does the fact that the Talisman of Endurance give the battle healing cap, whereas the Talisman of Preservation does not, make it that the Talisman of Endurance is more valuable for Throt than the Talisman of Preservation? These are the questions, people. Anyway, Ransom. And you will not have this. We need this for somebody who's probably on a monster. Yeah. Anyway, you are now in -3, which isn't anywhere near so bad. So I think now we can replace this mushroom tunnel with a public order building. You can return to... We could actually maybe build it. Alright, fine. You can then go into 4th Circle for the turn, which will help the public order. We can repop the dominating scheme, because I like to have it running as always. 10 per turn, and this is generally where we would be, let's see, going for the next Rat Force thing. For example, this one costs 100 food, or this one costs 50 food, so now that we have this thing back, even if this is kind of buggy, at least for now, it means that we can get this, since the food would be recovered even if it, you know, doesn't go to max. You know, the sort of honor system thing that we're doing with this. Anyway, Mr. Throt, you are still damaged. That's not going to be changing anytime soon. We are going to pop you into camp stance and then pop you in enemy territory. Let's see how much you heal there. Same amount. And then you can proceed. And then you can move here. Oh, there was something else I wanted to try. Okay, we'll give it a little bit. Until we've reached our next location. You can transfer the Packmaster, though. And then maybe go a little bit further as well. Like so. Oh, you know what I've never tested? Okay, maybe we'll do it with this battle. I was wondering whether the Slaaneshi thievery only works against the main army and not the secondary army, because we could potentially attack with Skitice at the 2nd Circle and see if that makes any kind of difference. I am kind of curious, so maybe we'll test that out, just for future reference for myself, since it's not something I've ever done. Anyway, I guess we'll build up the Warrens here then. Yeah, fine. Or at least build up the first one and then the second one when it's available. Time to start leveling the places up, since we're about to leave the Hell Pit rather soon. Diplomacy-wise, is there anybody who wants to be friends? Or as Fjordlings are nearby, we could be friendly with them. I mean, again, it's old world. It's not like there is a dearth of territory if you want it, so we don't necessarily need the coastline should we want it. And then we'd probably be more in Kislev, as weird as it may feel not to be as mountain-centric here. But hey, the Undercities are everywhere in reality. Anyway, let's go next turn. I just realized something. Do we have diplomatic contact with Sarthorael? We do. Okay, I was interested whether we did or we didn't. I think it works differently for the player than the AI, doesn't it? Because when there's an enemy Skaven nearby, all you can see is ruins. Until you've seen one of their armies, you will have had no diplomatic contact with them. And I'm pretty sure this guy can't see any of our armies. But anyway, tunnel expansion 4 complete. Next, I believe I said we wanted to get hit and run. Speed ourselves up a teensy bit. Which we will do. Actually, out of curiosity, what does this do? Hero action cost minus 25%. Actually, this will come in handy relatively early if we want to get... Ooh, yes, we want to get... We have our construction cavern, which means warlock engineers. I guess it doesn't matter which one we do. I don't know if one of these guys has a... has something that lets him... Yeah, just get this one. Warp binoculars. I do like the targeting range for spells, but anyway. Whether one of these guys has something that lets him succeed more, but I suppose it doesn't matter over much. We needed to get one of some kind anyway. Anyway. You... I mean, I suppose we could actually send you to Kazarla. Just out of curiosity, can you jump over here? Oh, you can't. Really? I guess you're gonna have to move over here. Alright, fine, fair enough. Fair enough, go here. I think it's unfortunately inevitable that we get into a fight with Sarthorael, so we're just going to, live with it. Here, I'm almost tempted to build the Eshin structure rather than the public order structure. I would like to collect the money. It's not a lot, admittedly. And until we get arcane generators, frankly, these territories will probably never generate money, so they're better as military structures or military territories than anything else. And this, however, will also give us, let's see, 120 money, some money. Admittedly, the 9th circle should still generate cash because the lower levels of Help It give us enough to warrant building an arcane generator to max that out, but the rest of the stuff not so much. Yeah, basically I wanted to get a Den of Secrets ASAP to get the Eshin Sorcerer ability, because we don't have them as yet. Oh, and we don't, it would also be nice to have some weapons teams up and running. They're a little bit expensive for now, though. You know what, let's wait a little bit. Let's upgrade this Warren here. We will ignore... Well, now we can upgrade the Warnet or the Nestlayer at 3rd circle. 9th circle, you're fine as you are because we don't need the Storm Vermin, however. Skittice and Throt. If you go into regular stance, you, by the looks of it, can just reach this, though you will suffer attrition immediately afterwards if you do. Do we lose anything by taking the turn? Oh, we'll actually have a proper fight here. Alright, that'll guarantee Throt's level up as well. You're actually going to go into raiding stance then. And then you're going to go here. And then you are going to go back into encamp stance and go here. Like so. One more level and then Throt will be well leveled up. Beautiful. Alrighty, I guess everybody else is set up, so... Okay, wait. Hero check again. I don't like that one. Oh, we do have another Vermin Vanguard. But now we need additional assassin capacity, don't we? You know what? Screw it. Start building the... Well... We have the construction cavern here. We have to keep the Overseer's Lookout here until we can replace it with an arcane generator, so that hasn't changed. I guess we could build the assassin thing here at 1st circle instead, then. And then maybe the weapons team thing here. You know what, I'll continue thinking about it, but not now, so go. Alright, what do we have here? Loyalty -4 and all we get is a potion of speed? I'd rather have the 3k gold. Word has reached your ears that one you thought less treacherous than other lords has stolen from you. An item of great power has come into his possession, and instead of offering it in tribute, he has kept it for himself. Oh dear, punish in a less subtle way. You care not for such trinket items, but still the disrespect must be addressed. Have his tribute increased. Lovely. Alrighty, yeah, there we go. 10% increase to speed. Speed being a fantastic stat, in my opinion, arguably the best stat. It's always nice to have, even for the already quick Skaven. Ammunition for gutter runners is fine. This I don't really care for. Let me just see if this goes to anything interesting anytime soon. Oh, okay, wait. This will take us to Oppressive Plans, which will get us to the Storm Vermin buffs. There's some okay stuff here, but nothing super critical, so none of this is all that critical as of yet. You know, if we keep ignoring these and then use... Well, we probably do want to get the at least melee defense for Skaven slaves. But I was thinking we could probably get beginning just by virtue of continuously upgrading these, because we thus reach a surplus, which is nice, I will admit. Gotta think about that. Anyway, since we are free to now use order, we'll grab order right now, I think, and then maybe we'll spend the next little bit of cash on Treasure Force 1. And then next time I feel like we have enough food, we'll get Food Force 2, or at least I feel like we've generated enough food. We will have generated the 50 food back from the dominating scheme, plus the fighting, plus all the raiding, which is 8 food apiece. And then this guy was raiding as well, though we, reduced that by a little bit. The encamp stand still generates plenty of food. So yeah, we're still gaining like 30, 40 food per turn, so we do get it back fairly quickly, even if it doesn't look like it, because we're not spending. But anyway, what I wanted to see was this. Skitice, I would like you to attack second circle. And, oh, your Skaven slaves aren't being stolen. Well, darn, how am I going to test that out then? Alright, fine, then we'll have Throt attack. I wanted to test it, but I guess that's... Oh, and of course now you have no... now you have no movement range too. You're going to suffer attrition. Well, whatever. Whatever. You're going to move on and then Throt. And you will... I mean, I guess we could level these guys up, but at the same time, I don't think we need to, and let's just go, let's just fight. This should be a good one. We got chariots, we got lots of these spawn of Slaanesh, Hellstriders and stuff, should be decent. Go.
Fight for Moulder clan! Fight for Throt! You not fail lose! Go, go!
I love Throt's psychotic laughter, it's fantastic. Well done to the VA. Anyway, here we go, we got plenty more Slaaneshi where, well, they came from, but anyway, plenty more Slaaneshi, I suppose, and we are going to start the episode, or battle off, rather, by taking advantage of the Vanguard deployment that we now have on our Rat Ogres. Our 3 units of Rat Ogres charged towards the enemy chariots, as well as the enemy Hellstriders, and then with the combined strength of the, keep wanting to say Flesh Hounds, Wolf Rats. The chariots are down to 40% of their HP, and the Hellstriders are in extremely bad shape. And this is why, or one of the reasons why, I really wanted that Vanguard deployment on the regular Rat Ogres. Really gonna come in handy like this. Now there we go, the chariots are down long before they ever even had the chance or possibility of reaching our main line of clan rats. And the other Hellstriders probably not going to get out of this either, as the Wolf Rats will chase them down, while the rest of our army starts moving towards the enemy army. Funnily enough, or interestingly, it seems that rather than going towards our main line with the Hell Pit and the other stuff, the enemy wants to chase off our Rat Ogres and Wolf Rats, so good for them, I guess. And oh, wow! Oh, that better not insta-kill you. No, okay, I was worried that you went... Okay, there is absolutely no way that tiny chariot should have sent you flying anywhere near that far. Yeah, I think there are some units in the game, namely the Mutant Rat Ogre and the Vargulf, that I can think of, in the Vampire Count's roster, that have a little bit too little mass or too little charge resistance compared to their body size and the mass and weight that they should really have. Just again, out of curiosity, 2,000 was it? Yeah, 2,000. That's not enough. That's not enough. I think Grail Knight has 1,500 mass. I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong. In fact, but anyway, I just don't think that guy should be going flying that much. We got 1,500 mass on the Seeker Chariots, in fact. Oh, there's that vortex coming in from Mutant Rat Ogre, eventually to be joined by a vortex or a spin to win from Goritch once we unlock him. Anyway, obviously the main lines are now engaged. The clan rats facing off against demonettes and devoted marauders of Slaanesh, supported by Hellstriders and those Chaos Spawn, but we got bigger and better monsters. Alrighty, and the balance of power has shifted to about 75% in our favor. Those units that foolishly gave chase to the wolf rats and the rat ogres are very much out of the picture now, and they will now chase down the other unit of chariots, not letting these guys charge through our units of clan rats again and apply that bleed or that serrated blade storm ability that they have. Too much potential damage, though I am excited to use Slaanesh units once again when the Tides of Torment DLC comes out. I'll just be sad that we'll have to play them without SFO. But hey, it'll be a reason to eventually run Slaanesh again in SFO once we get the update afterwards. And hopefully there are some fancy new mechanics and additions that the new DLC will offer to the game and to these new factions. And because then SFO can hopefully cannibalize them and then use them for other interesting stuff. Anyway, what do we have here? Looks like the demonettes are melting away and the devoted marauders are gone. Now it's just the unbreakable chaos spawn facing off against the Hellpit abomination and the rat ogres. Monstrosity facing off against monstrosity. But it's what we're known for much more than Slaanesh, so I don't think they have a prayer. And once again, I do really like the what SFO does with the various spawn, rather than keeping them all identical to each other as in vanilla. All the different types of chaos spawn are very different units. The only one I don't like is the meatball. It's an interesting idea, but auto-resolve hates it so much that it's basically unusable because it just kills it. But that's more of a fault of the auto-resolve than it is of the mod or the... the mod, but yeah, but anyway, looks like we are pretty much good here. The bounce power is 100% in our favor, just a matter of time as the last of those chaos spawn and get overrun. Actually, they're surprisingly tanky, you gotta admit, considering they only have 34 melee defense, but I guess that 20% physical resistance is working for them. Or perhaps some of the units are getting in each other's way and not letting the Hellpit abomination and the rat ogres do their work, which is why we have backed off, or are in the process of backing off, as many of the little tiny ratties, so the big boys can land their blows. And there we go with that, the last of the chaos spawn will fall. And the battle is ours. Lovely. Alright. And they gave us a much more proper fight this time around, and hopefully will only get harder from here. Slaanesh giggle. Alrighty, there we go. That should be more than enough XP for Throt to level up. Great work by our rat ogres, the two named ones, Ratabolic Steroids and Soul Patrol, getting just slightly more damage than the unnamed ones, and thereby, continuing to confirm my superstition that named units do better. But anyway, otherwise, let's see, we got... nobody else did anything crazy. Oh, actually, the Plague Priest did pretty solid, 20,000 damage. I thought that the Pestilent Breaths weren't doing anything crazy, but it looks like a few hits through the relatively lightly armored Marauders and very lightly armored Demonettes, or unarmored Demonettes, meant that it was still pretty solid work. And obviously the Morse Guitar is Hellion, but this thing always does pretty insane amounts of damage, thanks to that Vortex ability. Anyway, once again, we will loot and occupy like so, and heal up while we do. Victory over Slaanesh. Oh, well, now we have that. Lovely. And lovely. Slaanesh corruption is still here, fairly high, unfortunately, but we can deal. Anyway, the important thing is this. First, we get Nest Layer, and second, ooh, hello, Shield of Distraction. An area hex that reduces enemy melee attack. Oh, that's interesting. Wait, where's our chieftain? You have the Rival Hide Talisman, which is also a melee attack reduction hex. Lovely. Oh, this one is a infinite duration. Oh, well, you, my friend, are going to be a very debuff-centric kind of rat. I like it. I like it a lot. You know what? You deserve a weapon. Maybe not the sort of bloodshed. I feel like that should go in a Lord. We can have a, well, Helm of Discord would be nice for this army, but I think the Helm of Discord will actually go on the Plague Priest, because you will also be on the Plague Furnace, and you'll be in the center of the Rat Death Star, especially since Throt kind of warrants a Death Star playstyle or multiple Death Stars, depending on how you want to do it. Anyway, we want to get Wither and we want to get... Let's get Plague Rash as well. I want to get Blessed with Filth afterwards. Ixus Triads available, eh? And Teeth Breakers or Rattling Guns. You know what? We might put Ixus Triads in this army as a ringer unit, just so that we have one. Do you actually buff them in any way? The Master Assassin seems to like the Gutter Runners and Night Runners, and does nothing for Ixus Triads and nothing, or the Eshin Triads and nothing for Death Runners, which is a little bit curious. I wonder why that decision was made. I do believe we have some buffs available to them via Rat Lords, though, as in their main trait. Though not those. Ooh, encased warp engines. Our fire army, which, well, we will get up and running as soon as we can afford the warp fire throwers, which are 300 gold a pop, which is kind of insane right now. Slave attendance is, funnily enough, significantly worse than frontline rat for Skaven slaves, as 15 armor is a lot better. Just want to take a look at the other heroes and their traits. Vermintide Harbinger isn't bad, the upkeep reduction. Seeping Putrescence is... it's fine, but it's nothing crazy. Alright, well, we can by and large ignore that. Now, you... oh, that was this turn? Okay, you will be able to go to Xarla as soon as we start attacking these guys. You will need to... oh, you have to get... no. You're going this way, you're gonna join this army then. Okay, stop. You're gonna join this army, replacing one of the units of Skaven slaves. It doesn't really matter which one. Oh, actually, I wanted to test something, though, while we're here. I would like you to grab one of these Skaven slaves from this. And, okay, you do start with actually a fairly solid augment. Well, now how am I supposed to kill you? But anyway, I wanted to see whether this guy would immediately start with a... with an instability that would allow us to delete you and then, you know, acquire more mutagen. Later on, I believe we could just buy mutagen, unless I'm mistaken, for money. Yeah, we can spend 5,000 gold for mutagen. Eventually, we'll get so much money that, you know, we'll have as much mutagen as we want. So I'm not super worried about it. The other thing I wanted to do was this, Clone Warfare. Skaven slave units are recruited with between 1 to 5 random augments. The main issue with this is that they will then no longer grant growth juice when recycled. But at the same time... oh, they gain growth juice when recycled, not mutagen? Well, then it's not a big deal, is it? What was the cost of this? 25 food and 3,000 cost. You know what? That's actually pretty solid. I think maybe we are free to do this right now, especially while we have the dominating scheme up and running. To recover the food. We've been generating pretty solid amounts of food after all. Yeah, alright. Let's do that then. To replace our Skaven slaves with, you know, slightly buffer Skaven slaves, because we'll need more. Always more. Confirm. Yes, Clone Warfare. And speaking of clones and Clone Warfare, the Mutant has to be brought back, one of our community canon favorites, I think. Anyway, you can be bumped out of here. Random Skaven slave unit, you can pop in here. And then we'll just jump over and then bring you over there. I also want to double check. So last time, unless I'm mistaken, I figured that, yeah, we'd want a ballistics calibration availability to an army with a bunch of range units, wouldn't we? And triangulation, of course. And the ammunition. We definitely will want one of these guys. Admittedly, the targeting range plus 50% for spells wouldn't be a bad choice for a Warlock Engineer in one of these armies. Especially until we get until we get an Eshin Sorcerer available. Especially since these guys don't seem to have any... well, I do like Death Frenzy cooldown as well. And make it cheaper. Certainly something to think about. Anyway, I'll deal with it later. Wait, what does rat food do?
Good. Not eat.
I was wondering if it buffed units, but it does not. Alright, well, everybody else is good. We've tested the things I wanted to test. Okay, we gotta get the food back up and running. We should be able to do that fairly quickly. You can't do anything, because you can channel, not that there's any real need to do so. I would like you to get Root Marcher, though. And I haven't decided whether you're going to lead Clan Rats or Skaven Slaves, but you're gonna be one of them. And until you are, we'll have to just figure out. The important thing is that Throt has reached rank 12. So now we have Remoldered, which is a healing ability that we can use on his monsters. And then we can get Master of the Mutated. 10 melee defense, 10 weapon strength, 10 missile resistance for all the Moulder monsters. Perfect Vigor for Throt is actually kind of useless, because he'll get it eventually. But the Casualty or Punishment rate and free growth juice and income from post-battle loot are lovely. Here we get even more growth juice from recycled units, which we won't be able to do to Skaven slaves anymore, but all good. Solid bonuses versus large. And then the Unclean one. 10 hit points, 10 ward save, 50% cooldown reduction to Beast Pack, and then doubling the summon, so we can now summon 2 units of Rat Ogres on the field rather than 1. Now this, frankly, is kind of bad for 2 points because all lords acquire perfect vigor anyway. Enemy melee defense for enemy characters in range is good enough though that I think we'll still get it. And we are 2 more levels away until we get that Brood Horror. What about the... I keep wanting to say pack rats. Pack masters. You need to be level 5 so you can keep waiting. You have reached it, therefore you get Tide of Death and Tide of Pox. We'll ignore the rest of that. Chieftain, you've reached rank 10. Does that do anything interesting for us? Suspiciously Loyal will give more ward save to Throt. Oh, we can get all of these. Well, isn't that lovely? Yeah, alright, let's get Suspiciously Loyal, Paranoid Defender. Future Warlord gives us income from raiding, which I don't really care about. Upkeep reduction for clan rats, eh? Okay, I guess we'll want one of these guys with a clan rat army. We can also grab Watch Your Backtail right now for the immunity to psychology. Though admittedly when you're on a bone breaker, no, you'll still only cause fear rather than terror. Really, it's kind of a terrifying beastie, but what do I know? Tough as nails as well for the character experience gain for the Lord, and then might as well get training. Alright, and then the last Packmaster. You have these things maxed out, but we will want to do... Flesh Snatcher, I guess? Yeah, again, the main issue with this is that it will... Just out of curiosity, this is Scavenge, it's plus 15. If we do this right now, Flesh Snatcher. Yeah, that'll disappear. So you can now be a Flesh Snatcher forever. And we'll have somebody else get the Scavenger instead. Let's say you. 2 points, but that's fine. Alright, that worked out decently well. Now you have both, and the Casualty or Punishment trait will help you further. Alright, I think that's most of the important stuff. I don't believe we need to upgrade anything. We now do have the Assassin's Hideout, so we're free to upgrade the Knight and Gutter Runners as needed. 4th Circle, still losing Public Order unless we switch it to Efficient Planning, though. We could just temporarily build a Taskmaster's platform. Yeah, fine. Build a Taskmaster's platform temporarily, and then... yeah, just go for the Giant Fungi Caverns. One more turn, then we'll upgrade the Giant Fungi Caverns here. Upgrade this, and then switch it, and then start collecting money. Not much money, but some money. And then this place will rebel. Alright, I think that's it. Bit of an admin-y turn, but I had to do it sometime. End turn. Alright, Creator, good. And Control +2, good. Growth VAD batch available. Next turn it'll complete itself. You will go into an offensive and camp stance and max out those oh, actually, wait. Unit will no longer grant growth juice when recycling. Oh, yeah, well, I know that. I wonder. The thing that said 1 to 5, I assume that we need to unlock infantry stuff for them, and thus we'll need to actually spend some of this as soon as we can on infantry in order to unlock them, in order to rebuild these guys harder, better, faster, stronger. So that's definitely something to do. You, Throt, are going to go into raiding stance and move towards First Circle. Oh, wow, that... oh, you can't do... okay, never mind. You're going to go into channeling stance, and nope, you are going to then suffer attrition. How's the... yeah, it's fine. I was wondering how the public order was. Alright, just go here then. I know what I should have done. I should have just... yeah, I was hoping that we raid and gain food and stuff while we moved up, but I should have just used the underway stance instead. But oh well, what can you do? You. I would like you to do 2 things. First of all, lose this Skaven slave. Second of all, grab this Brood Horror. Minus 500 now, which ain't great, but it is what it is, and then go here. We had to deal with these guys at some point, since they hate us so much. And we just, you can't leave the Tzeentchins running around. And they'll start using their annoying abilities and then we'll screw you over. Anyway, we are saving until rank 10 to buff up all of the assassins here, so you're just gonna have to wait. Next up, we've got the technologies. We don't have a lot of money. I wanted to get Treasure Force, but I think maybe we wait. Wait on Food Force until we've got a little bit more food replenishing. Could start moving through beginning so that we can now raise territories and then get them back up and running. Just want to see if there's anything else that is nice and critical here. Eyes everywhere. Melee defense ain't bad. Recruitment cost, ammunition not bad, but nothing critical in terms of bumping up our power. And it's this, the basic troop stuff, but I think it's also not super critical. Let's do Slave Force 3 instead. Bump up that Rat Force, because there's so many things that we'll want to get here, and, well, we'll need more Rat Force to do it. Yeah, alright, and hopefully we can get 5k. Anyway, skip, and turn. I just realized if we keep this guy here, we'll need another hero to send out. Is there anybody we can get up and running here? No, we have to get one up and running down here, which is unfortunate. Okay, no Packmasters available, no Warlock Engineers available. We could use one of the Chieftains, I guess, as a hero to send out there. They're a little bit on the expensive side, though. You know what? And turn. Alright, we got another Hell Pit Abomination, another Brood Horror, 3 Rat Ogres, eh? And Superior Badge. Out of curiosity, does this mean that we got no... Yeah, we got no Skaven Slaves and surprisingly no Wolf Rats. I was hoping that we'd get... Huh, I also wanted a Mutant Rat Ogre as well. But I guess it's at least semi-randomized, which is fine. Anyway, Throt, you cannot move as far, so I'm going to have you go into tunneling stance, go right beside this place, and then you, little guy, are going to switch to raiding stance, and also go right beside Throt, raid it for a turn, and get us twice as much food, and then we'll hit first circle and wipe these guys out next turn. Let's also go for the Marble Quarry here, and... Oh! Gates of Hell is can actually be a province that generates stuff. Stuff is good. In case that was unclear. Let me just see here. Okay, yeah, I just wanted to double check whether there was any buildings we needed to build to unlock any of these techs, but it doesn't look like that's the case. Alright, start with the storage caves. We still want to get more Rat Force in this, get more food. You are going to go into raiding stance now, and... Are you in Svedora or in Kazarla? No, you're in Kazarla. I imagine we can raid more out of Svedora. I also don't want you to get attacked by Sarthorael, so just stay here. Alright, stay here and get ready to attack Kazarla. Should be an easy take while these guys get ready to attack Svedora and find Sarthorael himself. Otherwise, there was one more thing we needed to build here. We are positive, but let's go for the Giant Fungi Caverns. Let's upgrade you to Tier 2, at least for now. Again, we're going to change the way that these territories work and completely militarize them, but we're not ready for it yet. And then you can now switch to Efficient Planning, and then next turn you'll be able to hopefully collect some income. Not a lot of income, but some income. Build it. We'll also do the Creature Killer quest shortly. I kind of wanted to... Oh! We gain 20 food... But we don't gain a control and stuff bonus. Alright, well that's interesting. Oh, mutagen. I almost forgot about that. Okay. You, Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers. We need to spend some mutagen. Let us go to the augment panel. Don't care about the rank, I do care about the frenzy, which you do not automatically have. Alright, so get your frenzy. And... Stalk and Vanguard deployment. Huh. Stock on all infantry. Ooh, we can make an all-stalking storm vermin. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Man, there's so many... There's a lot of fun stuff that we can do with all of this. Muscle enlargement. I don't dislike the idea. The unit rank plus 4 seems kind of garbage, but... Alright, let's do this. And then might as well go for muscle enlargement. This is going to be the ringer unit, I guess, for the... Clan Rat army. Hey, no instabilities yet. Alright, and we got 50 left. I mean, I guess we should do this just because without it we can't unlock the other stuff, so... Even though it's completely useless, it's doubly useless on these guys. But I guess we could unlock it with another. And then not risk instability on you. Kind of makes more sense to me. Yeah, alright, we'll do that. Anyway, the rest of them are unlocked, so that's fine. Alright, the rest of that looks good. You guys all look good. We'll skip and we'll end turn. Okay, I really wasn't expecting that. They're going to sally out? Really? Okay, well, props to them. I'm impressed, Slaanesh. You're about to die, but still impressive. Perhaps it's because they have Fiends of Slaanesh and 3 units of Seekers, which the devastating charge of these guys would obliterate all of our Skaven slaves with great ease. But what are they going to do about the rest of our units? Let's find out. Go.
Fight for Moulder Clan! Fight for Throt! You not fail lose! Go, go!
Alrighty, here we go, the last bastion of the coveted passion of Slaanesh, the last of the Slaaneshi standing between us and capturing all of Helpit, and on top of that, starting on Sarthorael, the Everwatcher. We've faced up against 3 of the Chaos Gods now, 3 out of 5, and we will be facing off against the 4th soon, but we have to knock out the Slaaneshi first. Also, man, whenever I see the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers, I start wishing that we had Clan Vulcan on as a faction with maybe, I don't know, maybe this sort of burning sword scheme that they've got would be pretty neat. I just like the unit as all. But anyway, they will be the sort of linchpin. They will lead one of our armies that'll be a little bit clan rat focused and probably fire damage. So most likely clan rats, warp fire throwers, and then monsters with the fire weakness applied. Just got to be careful about burninating too many of our own clan rats, but we shall see. Anyway, speaking of rats, as one does, we've got the massive pile of reinforcements now on the battlefield, just having them all stand together in droves of Skaven slaves. The enemy will try to use their charges and to try to get through that wall of flesh, but I don't think they're going to be able to do anything to get through even half of it. We'll wait for the Skaven slaves to absorb the charge and then start sending in our own monsters. We can see our Hellpit Abomination moving towards the enemy main line. Our Rat Ogres are going for the Fiends of Slaanesh, another unit I do enjoy quite a bit. And we gotta knock them out to stop them applying that soporific musk to us. And hopefully between the regular and the mutant Rat Ogres, we should be able to bring them down with decent ease, especially considering that unlike the regular Rat Ogres, the mutant Rat Ogres do magical damage. Hellpit Abomination is helping those Skaven slaves fight against the Furies. Maybe we should use Hellpit Abominations in the Skaven slave army. I haven't decided what we will put together with the Skaven slaves. Just remembering back to my Man-Eaters campaign, my favorite army in that particular campaign was the Noblar army. I think it was the... I'm pretty sure that was the Man-Eaters campaign. It wasn't the Goldtooth campaign, right? Or did we get Goldtooth in that campaign? You know what, I don't remember. What I do remember is that I really enjoyed the combination of Noblar units and Giants, which maybe we can replicate with the Hellpit Abominations and giant piles of Skaven slaves. And probably throw a few weapons teams in there as well to actually help out dish out the damage. I just figured that if Hellpit Abominations die, more Skaven slaves come out of their bodies, so it kind of makes sense. Anyway, the Slaaneshi have failed by and large to breach the wall of flesh at all, which is, you know, something you'd think that they'd be a little bit more adept at, but the clan rats are completely fine and untouched. The monsters did the damage while the flesh wall absorbed all of the hurt. And it looks like the enemy does not have a prayer here. Just a little bit more work. The Demonettes and the Seekers are melting away. whether buried under piles of Skaven slaves or torn to shreds by the fast-moving flesh hounds. And even as they try to run and try to make use of their cycle charges, the summonings of all those additional wolf rats from the pack masters keep it so that we can basically permanently give chase to them. Definitely going to be useful for Throt's army to have the ability to summon like an additional 20 units of wolf rats on the field, especially as he otherwise won't have any, well, no, otherwise he won't have any range units in his army, and will need to be able to hunt enemy range units, or range cab, well, just generally range stuff down. Anyway, a lovely little decisive victory in the underway. And another thing, it's kind of ironic. One of the, I don't know, biggest sort of detriments to fighting against the Skaven, in my opinion, is the fact that Skaven corruption tends to make really dark maps. Nothing's visible. But when you're playing as the Skaven, you're usually fighting in places before they're Skavenly corrupted, so everything is nice and visible. So thanks to Slaanesh and the other Chaos Gods for that. Oh, I forgot to get the Red-Eyed Skaven mod. I wonder if it still works. I got used to them having red eyes last time I played. I'm gonna double check. Anyway. There we go, giant pile of Skaven slaves now combined with the summons that we have of various kinds ensured that we took effectively no damage from the enemy. 24 food as well. And yes, I do mean that a little over 10% losses is basically no damage, especially as most of them were Skaven slaves. And well done to everybody, though it looks like the Skaven slaves took the brunt of the damage, and then the kills were, of course, delivered by the rat ogres and ogres in general. Well, rat ogres, monsters in general, there we go. Frankly, I do wonder if the Hellpit Abomination ended up killing, well, maybe not more than the enemy, but a fair amount of our own units. Sell off. Alright, Nemesis Crown. Ooh. Near a large forest in the... yeah, thanks. Nemesis Crown is definitely something we might want to pick up in this particular campaign. Yeah, it's gonna hurt our relationship with other factions, but maybe we can overcome it, or at least hopefully. Food is... well, I guess we just went up and then... yeah. Might be able to, once again, get a food tech going. Perhaps this would be the ideal time to do it before we do A, the quest battle, and then B, take the first circle, which I imagine should now be auto-resolvable after all that, so head here. Let's see what the game says about it. And Pyrrhic Victory, that will kill our doggos. Will it, however, do the same if we get a bunch of, Skaven slaves to help out? And maybe also level everybody up, or at least buff everybody up slightly. Ooh, magical attacks for Throt? Yeah, we might as well. Might as well have magical attacks for when we have the Brood Horror, and then get the Moulder knowledge afterwards. Yeah, alright, soon we'll start being able to start building him up as a actual fighter. We still need at least one more Pack Master, and this Pack Master was slated to be replaced as well, but we'll deal with that after. Are you auto-resolvable now? Huh? Why are you now stealing wolf rats? Well, it is now auto-resolvable, but now it's stealing wolf rats. I really don't want to deal with it. We could fight it manually. Oh, I don't even know if they'd survive if we fought it manually. You really gonna do that? You know what? Screw it. Kill the clan rat spears. I don't care. It is what it is. Or kill the dogs. We can replace the clan rat spears with clan rat spears anyway. Lovely. Interestingly enough, our monsters took less damage. Hello, Banner of Swiftness. We'll get... okay, I guess we'll find out in a bit. We could, if we wanted to spend a little food, could actually start this at tier 3 now. It's a fair bit of food, but maybe it's finally time to start doing this here and there. I'm wondering if it's worth it. It'll effectively save money but lose food. At this rate, we would lose 30 growth for a while and a little bit of control, but nothing crazy. I don't like the loss of the casualty or punishment trait, but I think we can overcome it. Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. At tier 3. There we go. At least with first circle, we can build a bunch of stuff. Frankly, if we had more food, we probably would have done a tier 4, but it's all good. Audacious, enemy killed in battle, and Banner of Swiftness for Throt. Oh, right, I wanted to see, will Throt get Strider on the Brood Horror? He will not. Alright, well, I guess we'll be speed-maxing Throt as well. I guess I'm doing that with everybody, apparently. Honestly, he might actually be too fast on this thing. But I'll think about it. I might actually give the Banner of Swiftness to the Plague Priest, or if we get another Banner of Swiftness, that would be nice as well. Oh! That also got another... we got double Brood Horror from that, plus the Chieftain got his Bone Breaker. Well, isn't that lovely? And a Shadow Magnet Trinket. Can use if out of melee, affects allies in range all. I imagine that this should probably go on an Eshin Assassin to help out the these guys. Although if anybody's out of melee, and I mean the Plague Priest will be in melee, and I don't think we have any heroes in this particular army that will be out of melee, so it wouldn't work in this particular army, I'd wager. I will think about it, however. Anyway, Coveted Passion destroyed, just like the Nurglites and just like the Khornates. The Slaaneshi have fallen next. They had thoughts and prayers. We had throts and layers. That was so dumb. I'm not even sorry, but that was awful. Anyway, let's see. I forgot what I was doing now. Distracted by my own stupidity. Hey, I guess they were right about the stupid man thing. Anyway, campaign movement range, I think we will have to get as well. Alrighty, and you're rank 14. I got 2 points, but probably nothing critical. Savage Rat, Creature Musk. This is all non-critical. We can level them up after a little bit more fighting. This, however, is extremely critical. There we go. And then you have the same as well. Oh. You know what, just get 2 points in Scavenge so that you're identical to this guy, otherwise I'm just going to get lost and confused. You... I don't like the miscast base chance as yet. Start going through Evasion into Bless with Filth. Well, you know what, get Pestilent Breath as we do use it a lot. And Plague Furnace is at rank 16, so, you know, working on it. Getting there eventually. Chieftain, you now have the Bone Breaker, which you will keep. And I'm going to say grab Esteemed Combatant as the primary thing. Actually, you know what? I lied. 1 point in Esteemed Combatant and then 1 point in Red Leader. But the armor-piercing weapon damage for when defending is a nice thing to have. You are going to transfer that unit of Clan Rats to Throt, at least until he replaces it. And then go here. You can also recruit them fairly quickly, so we will do this. And we will do this. And we will do... Okay, well, good enough. At least for now. You, do you want to keep raiding or do you want to attack this turn? I think we'll raid for one more turn. It's not a big deal. We will want to, maybe next turn, do the quest battle, which will give Throt his creature killer.
Endless hunger.
Melee defense plus 10, pretty solid. I think he's going to need it as he has low melee defense on that Brood Horror, and surprisingly little armor as well. We'll need to get him something to up-armor him similar to the Armor of Silver Steel. I think, I don't know, Armor of Meteoric Iron. I think there's some blue armor that can help us with that, but anyway, the rest of that we can ignore. Let's check the buildings. Oh, wow, minus 900. Oh, we're in yellow now. That ain't great. Can you collect money? You can, but not for long. In fact, no, you can't. I lied. At least not this turn. Alright, we'll fix it. Fix it, fix it, fix it. Let's see what we've got here. You're going to switch to Expansionist Planning, and we will get a little bit of money out of the Rebellion next turn. In fact, collect the income because the Rebellion is happening anyway. You can build at least the storage caves for now. We should probably start upgrading the Warren, but we will wait until the Expansionist Planning is up and running. We will want to do the same thing with these two, but next turn. Storage caves can be built, however. We'll definitely want to build the breeding stock and other stuff in here, but we can do that afterwards. Do we need the Nest Nursery here? You know what, keep it for now, but we'll probably swap it out later. But anyway, that was a very critical location to take. Rights are all fine, I guess. Huh. You know what? Do the Scheme of Doom. Well, let's go find the undead with them, and establish an Undercity, and maybe Altdorf. It'll be propagating at least for a long time before we make it anywhere near there. Alright, and then start moving through all of these territories and identifying factions as well. I still don't see Sarthorael. Where is he, I wonder? He has 6 settlements now. I see these for... Oh, he went this way. Okay, interesting. That's not a bad thing for us. Tzeentch also has relatively poor defenses, so we should be able to deal with that anyway. I guess we're not spending money until the first circle next turn, and unless there's lords that are interesting, which we need to get. I just gotta keep double-checking these guys because I don't want to miss out. Ooh, another frontline rat. We'll probably need to grab you soon. But I don't want to waste the food while we're very negative right now, so we'll wait. Alright, skip, and then turn. No rebellion here, right? Yeah, no, we're good. Alright, Grand Banner of Clan Superiority, great, and grow your forces to 30, done. Next up, Rebellion at the Gates of Hell, unsurprising, and Rat Force generated +5 per turn, Grand Banner of Clan Superiority, great, and Throt, you can immediately pick that up. Ancillary is Grand Banner, there we go. Probably going to pop that onto the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers. And we also got to keep an eye on the mutagen before the next set of units comes down. Actually, speaking of units, I do want one more unit of Rat Ogres in this army. There might be some adjustments because Throt can summon them, so I'm not entirely sure. We can also get the Help It, considering Throt can get them for really cheap, and they're nice to have. Maybe. Anyway, that doesn't change the fact that Throt, go kill Gloria here. Oh, well, you will want to reinforce as well. Just to leech the XP. Throt, kill. Please don't tell me this gives us... Okay, no steelies. Throt, have this. Grand Banner on you. And the rest of this auto-resolvable. Like so, 14 food, and Banner of Verminous Scurrying, and massive increase to speed and charge bonus at a loss of some melee defense. Interesting. We will take the sell off because we're about to use up a lot of our cash. Alright, good. Enemy killed in battle, Banner of Verminous, whatever. Crown of Command. Specifically on Skittice. Now, Crown of Command, because it has leadership aura size, and we got the Bonebreaker guy, the chieftain with the Bonebreaker, to get additional leadership. We'll put that on you. You have... Do you have a... Orator, or you have Bard, so we can at least spam the leadership aura increase, but no additional power to the leadership aura effect itself. Well, let's just hope that it works. This guy's kind of gonna be supporting Throt, not that eventually he will need it. Now, speaking of Throt, I would like you to go into encamp stance and stay here for one more turn and heal up. And, oh, we're gonna get another rebellion here. Well, it is what it is. You then... I'd like these guys to heal up so that we can do the quest battle before we attack Sarthorael. I'll let him do his thing, or whatever it is he's doing out there. You! Alright, we're getting some stronger Skaven slaves. Significantly stronger. This one started with 35 armor, thanks to the augments. Anyway, you and you will not have augments, so I will disband you. And then replace you. Like so. Lovely. I guess all of our augments aren't, yeah, none of the augments that are applied do anything for missile troops, do they? So we might actually be better not even bothering to use Skaven Slave Slingers here, which is kind of funny because they're the better of the units, but nonetheless. I'll think about it. Let's see, supply or rerouting, we could get the local recruitment capacity, which we could use. We don't want to use up any of the food, well, we don't have enough, so we'll deal with that later. I did want to get this soon. Oh, and the Warp Marrow infusion would be nice as well, to fix our money situation. So maybe we save Rat Force until we get instability harnessing techniques. And that means... could start moving through... Ah, it's 13 turns though, it's gonna take so long. Maybe go through this and start buffing up these Skaven slaves and clan arts. Oh, that's going to take a long time as well. You know what? It's not critical. Go through the beginning. Beginning is needed to unlock all of this fancy stuff anyway, so I think it'll make more sense to do that. You're fine as you are, at least until probably life is cheap. Frankly, we want Ravenous expansion on every single warlord, but somebody needs to command the Skaven slaves, and that may decently likely be you. You're fine as you are. Let's build some buildings. First circle. We need these everywhere, so definitely breeding stock. We probably want the construction caverns everywhere as well. And get the ability to build the plague claw catapults here. We will also definitely want the arcane generators, and we will want the taskmaster's platform. And that does mean forgoing the Eshin building and the weapons burrow right now, and I did want to get those. Yeah, you know what? I think we have no room for the nest nursery or the food building here. It's alright. Not a big deal. We'll keep it to these places. We will then upgrade, I'm going to say this warren just for the marble quarry, delete the rattling warrens, build up both of the mushroom tunnels, and replace the rattling warrens with a, let me just see here for a second. We could build the basic version of the Taskmaster's platform, or go for any tier 3s that would still be of use to us. Could build a clan armory here at the very least so that we can essentially build everything out of this location, which does make sense. We will also generate decent cash out of this particular territory, so we do have to keep that in mind. Anyway, other than that, I believe we're good, minus Mr. Thramute, who will continue moving southward until he finds and hopefully allies with Vlad, and then proceeds to get a nice undercity going, which will hopefully propagate itself. This is going to be, I think, the very nice thing about this being an old world campaign. We'll send a few rats out to establish some undercities far, far away, to places that we will never get to because the world is so big, and finally actually get use out of the undercities, which feels like a completely useless ability in vanilla. Anyway, skip, and turn. Alright, what do we have here? Badly... Ooh, that's a great trait, but... funnily enough, it's the worst trait to get on the Assassin Masters, and because they... well, all of this stuff would be much better on one of the other Lord types, unfortunately. I don't dislike the... I don't dislike the Apocalyptic Vision thing. 10% physical resistance and plus 20 melee attack in an area. Maybe we should forego this, because this guy in this particular army will rarely, extremely rarely be fighting in melee as opposed to what this army is, generally speaking, doing. Granted, he does have some assassins, and he will get some decent mileage out of it. Lots more attack and stuff. But at least one of these to buff the entire blob is probably pretty nice. We'll just have to figure out who wants to keep a hold of that. Yeah, we'll do it. Gather the dust. I'm a little bit worried about the loyalty, but we should be fine. Oh, let's give this a read. These are always funny. One of your warlock engineers has found a new way to enrich warpstone. Unfortunately, a laboratory explosion occurred the following day, leaving nothing behind but a pile of eerily glowing warpstone. Okay, that wasn't funny. I gathered the dust. Surely one of your lords would be glad to assist gathering this dust. Yes, yes. Yes. Get enriched warpstone dust. We can pop it on Mr. Plague Priest. He will be buffing and debuffing. More so when he's on the Plague Furnace. Now, two things to do. First of all, you. Switch to regular stance. You. Lose these two. Disband. You. Level. We're already going to do his quest fight now. But we should level before we do. You're saving points for Tide of Pox, so that's fine. You're saving points for... Okay, you already have that. You are... I mean, we could get these just in case we fight monsters. Oh, we should also go through Retinue Physician. Rat-Keteering will be very nice as well. Speed reduction and weapon strength for monsters versus bonus versus large for enemy characters specifically, and aura reduction. I'm going to say Creature Musk is probably the more important. Actually, you know what? I lied. 1 point in Creature Musk, but also 1 point in Sneaky. We need the missile resistance on the Brood Horrors. They're actually fairly fragile, if you're not careful with them. You are going to take the Clan Rat back. Let's use... I don't know. Spears, shields, doesn't really matter. I don't care. You are going to get that second Hell Pit Bomb. You know what? Take both. Like so. Rod will have no Clan Rats soon. But he'll have somebody following him around with some. Anyway, you can go Help It and Rat Ogres. Again, they're pretty darn cheap in Throt's army, so it feels appropriate. We also will need the Vanguard deployment aspect on you. So that they all have it. Not speed, although this is pretty solid as well. Vanguard deployment, warp infusion, apply. Lovely, now every single one of them has Vanguard deployment. Now, time to do the quest battle. I don't even remember what this quest battle is like. I don't even know if I've ever fought this quest battle before. I guess we'll see if I remember it, but we will give it a read. Throt's legendary things catcher, creature killer, is on the fritz as he attempted to throttle a rat ogre to drag into his wretched flesh laboratory. One of the prongs in the apparatus's business end snapped loose, becoming entirely detached. Ugh, mechanical tinker fixing is for scryer dregs. Stupid boring. Fantastic. Throt lamented out loud as he shoved a warpstone-laced energy bar into his mouth. Alright, this might be my favorite quest description so far. Warpstone-laced energy bar? He had always been suspicious of scryer engineers, which he considered small-brained for being so obsessed with machinery, when tinkering with natural and unnatural anatomy was so much more interesting. But warlock engineers have the knowledge and means to restore his legendary weapon, and regardless of his cynicism for the tinker rats, his beasts weren't going to throttle themselves. This whole thing is fantastic. I think, yes, my favorite of the quest descriptions so far. And yeah, don't underestimate Throt's genius, generally speaking, Moulder in general. Fun fact about the rune of Clan Moulder, their icon, the rune. It's supposed to be a double helix, like a DNA strand, because, you know, they're doing the, genetic mutations and all that stuff. It's pretty fun. Anyway, you, creature killer, quest time. How do I actually, wait. Huh?
Endless hunger.
Am I forgetting how to actually do that? Wait. What do I have to do with this? It's not a battle? Oh, did I read this for nothing? Embed a warlock engineer. Okay. Fine. This guy's too far now? I forget. Alright, Throt, go here. For the turn. Next turn. We'll do it next turn. You are going to go into March stance because we need to do this right away. Can you just go by yourself? You can. Minus the fact that you will need to lose a unit. Suffer attrition for a turn? Wait, will this... No, it won't. I was wondering whether it would rebel immediately. Lose one of these guys. And, ooh, hello. We have 2 with instabilities. Yeah, which we can't, unfortunately, now, recycle. Which would have been lovely, but oh well. The only reason that they have so many instabilities and augments is because they got that trait. Anyway, you are going to briefly take one of the dogs. You are going to pop out of this army and into Throt's army. You are going to stay there. This will complete the quest, and then we'll do it next turn. And there we go. Assuming that it doesn't immediately give it to him. Oh, it does! No quest... Oh, game. Okay, that was a tease, but not to worry. We are at rank 14. One more battle will take us to 15, and I'm willing to bet Whip of Domination will give us the fight. In fact, I think that's how you unlock Goritch. Oh, right, we gotta get Goritch in here, too. Alright, well, working on it. We're working on a lot of things. We had some reductions in terms of construction costs here, and now we don't. It is what it is. Alright, just wait until we can build this. Yeah, alright, we'll wait the turn. Nobody panic. End turn. Alright, a rebellion is coming, but that's fine, at least for now. I would like to reach... Oh, there's Sarthorael. Wait. We can't leave him here because he'll... I was gonna attack Svedora. Alright, wait. Minor changes to the way that we're going to do this then. Throt, I would like you in... I guess we have to return directly to... First circle. The rebellion is actually fine. At least I don't mind it. In fact, we want to maybe be in enemy territory so that we don't stop the rebellion. On the other hand, what we do want is to get the constructor creator thing. So yeah, fine. You're gonna go here, not enter the settlement. Like so. We'll deal with the rebellion. You, -6, eh? Alright. You are going to then go right beside him. Oh, actually. Sarthorael would then immediately be able to attack you. The likelihood of him attempting it is small, admittedly. Okay, you know what? You are going to then go into raiding stance. Besides Fedora, was there a little army here before? I don't know. Alright, you know what? Change my mind. You're going to go here. You are going to attack this right now. We'll see if Sarthorael attempts to move from Yetchich or not. And what he does in general. Do we need to... let's talk to Ropsman clan. Join war against Sarthorael's Everwatchers for money. Like so. Alright. And how do the orcs feel about us? Well, they're probably not going to like us attacking Sarthorael, but it was inevitable, so it is what it is. You are going to keep heading down to Sylvania. You are going to go into regular stance and then attack Zarla. And by the looks of it, you could auto-resolve it. It isn't much, and I kind of don't want to deal with it. Let's get Infiltrator while we're at it to buff up everybody, and you guys are waiting for level 6, which you might actually... Oh, you're waiting for level 10, never mind. So then maybe you can just get replenished troops at the very least. Like so. Alright. And I'm aware that they don't stack. I want to see if we can move the Skaven slaves in to help or not. We cannot, okay. Auto resolve. Don't kill the brute horror, please. No, that's fine. That's completely fine. Occupy. Yeah, level 1. No need to waste. Like so. And don't collect the income here at the very least. We probably don't need the Rattling Warrens, but you know what? Keep it for the additional movement range for now. Then the other thing I want to do is get you the second brute horror. Because we want the poisons mixing, because a lot of these guys will become night runner or gutter runners rather than night runners, which we can do shortly, but not right now. Alright, the rest of this is good. Sarthorael is the enemy. The rebellion will happen here, which will allow Throt to level 15, and then get his quest up and running, and everything's good. Alright, we're gonna do that quest battle this episode, don't you worry. Promises were made. Anyway, we do want more Packmaster capacity, so we will upgrade the pits of the Packmasters. You can get the Overseers... will that prevent the rebellion? Oh, it's already kind of preventing the... You know what, don't upgrade that, but we'll upgrade other stuff. Get the stone, the marble. You can get the giant fungi. You can get the Warren. Just gotta be careful about, you know, running out of cash. And then the other things I wanted to build were... I already have the Eshin there, and until tier 4 it isn't necessary here, so instead we're going to go for the weapons dump and the Ox Cauldron, so that we have access to everything. And in these places we can go either... No, I could go additional growth. Might be a decent option here. Yeah, you know what, let's go for growth for both places, rather than the clan rat building here. And maybe we'll build the clan rat building here. Anyway, let's end the turn, see what Sarthorael does. Well, surprisingly, he did not actually attack us, but he stayed at Yetchich, which means Throt, you're about to kill him. And I guess that's how you'll be getting your rank 15. Alright, so you're gonna go after that. The rebellion is still happening, but no rebellion will be able to take this out, so it doesn't matter in that we can move as needed. Azag the Slaughterer, eh? Do we compete for this territory with Azag, or do we befriend him? I don't really think that we need too many Orky units. So I'm gonna have to give it some thought. Anyway, for now, this is how we do. Well, you know what? Let's just fight. Yo. Actually, wait, before I forget, I wanted to change you from efficient planning. If we're not collecting the income here anyway, then we'll change you to exploitative planning for the additional food. Generation. Yes, we're nearly maxed out, but again, honor system, and I would like to get the next one of these shortly. Whether it be the tunnel expansion, which gives us population surplus for +2 for newly captured settlements. Oh, newly captured settlements. Oh, that's interesting. Wait, how does that work? Meaning if we get it... I guess that means if we occupy it at tier 1, we can immediately upgrade to tier 2 and then quickly to tier 3. Yeah, that'll be useful. Alrighty. Either way, fighting must be done, so go here. And I guess we'll level up this Warlock Engineer, who I forgot that is in this army, but that's just fine. A Banner of Verminous Scurrying, massive amount of speed. I don't think that this is useful on anybody here, really. I don't really like the reduction in melee defense on anybody, so we're just gonna go like this, go.
For Moulder Clan!
Alrighty, here we go. We've got Brood Horrors on the field now, and look at Throt book it. 125 speed and Strider on top of that with the Banner of Swiftness. There we go. Even though the units of Rat Ogres were Vanguard deployed, Throt caught up to them and then overtook them as well. Looks like the enemy will start the battle off drawing first blood, not by killing any Rat Ogres, but at least by damaging them with a blue Fires of Tzeentch. So the unit that got damaged will move to the back of the pack and thus not take as much damage as those units that are first into the fray. The Rat Ogres charge the Blue Horrors, and I figured that we would try to do as much damage to the enemy's flank using our Vanguard deployables as possible. It looks like Sarthorael is wise to the idea and will move to duel. Apparently Throt... Oh! I thought they fixed the weird glow bug on the Tzeentch units. It's still pretty glowy. Ah, there he goes. Okay, it's normal looking now. Maybe it was while he was casting it, maybe it was on purpose. But anyway, we got a big old pile of Rat Ogres, including the summoned Rat Ogres from Throt the Unclean, fighting against the piles of Blue Horrors and Furies. And of course, we've got the damage to deal with them. Still have to be careful, of course, because Rat Ogres are a very fragile unit, effectively being the sort of cavalry of the rats, and thus liable to take a lot of damage if you're not careful with them. But now Throt has access to his healing ability, the Remouldered, so if anybody should take too much damage, it will simply buff them up. Anyway, while Throt has let his Rat Ogre horde into the fray, out back here, we do have the enemies moving in as well. Piles of Screamers and Marauders of Tzeentch facing off against the Mutant Rat Ogres, more regular Rat Ogres, all of our Clan Rats, of course, and our Hellpit Abominations. Alrighty, soon we won't have a main line of Clan Rats. I mean, even now we have barely a main line of Clan Rats to rely upon, and we'll have to use the piles of summoned Wolf Rats and Vermintide units, I guess, for that particular purpose. But that's just fine. Certainly something to get used to with the Skaven. Anyway, looks like Sarthorael is down to 50% of his HP, and the mob of Rat Ogres that Throt brought with him are very much nearing victory. Obviously, it would be more effective to have the entire army of Throts near to Throt, because he's a Death Star type lord that buffs everybody near him. But nonetheless, in this particular battle, it's working reasonably well. Oh, I thought Throt had brought Sarthorael down, but it looks like he's getting back up. For how long for, however, remains to be seen. Now, I was talking about those summonable Wolf Rats, and as we can see, we've got the Wolf Rats who have forcibly engaged most of the enemy range units. And though the Wolf Rats will probably lose in melee, especially against the Pink Horrors, what they will do is, and have done, is prevent them from firing. At last, it looks like Sarthorael has been defeated by Throt, leaving the staff. Maybe we can pick that up and put it to some use. I do kind of like that it's left behind like this. I wonder, you get a random Chaos Sorcerer seeks it out, maybe looking to become powerful, and just gets, possessed by Sarthorael again, or whichever exalted greater demon leaves a staff behind like that. Seems like something that could happen. Anyway, looks like with Sarthorael's banishment, the rest of his army is very much on the way out. The last of the Blue Horrors and give up. Throt gives chase to the cultist, which is running away, but by and large, Sarthorael's army is destroyed. Very, very nice. I'm kind of surprised that he didn't run, but impressed that he didn't as well. All right, there we go. Very nice. Our ability to summon droves and droves of, I keep wanting to say pack rats, wolf rats, has been pretty darn nice, as while our monsters smash into the enemy lines, so do the rats appear and either run down the enemy range units or at least tie them up. And again, lore-wise, it does make sense in the same way that, Clan Pestilence would be using plague monks instead of clan rats, or the warlord clans would be using clan rats and storm vermin. The Moulders are much more likely to rely on packs of rat ogres, wolf rats, and other sort of monstrosities for their sort of line troops. But anyway, plenty of XP, plenty of money. Sarthorael down, decent amount of food, and we're maxed again. Lovely to see. Decent bit of growth fat as well. Beautiful. All right, we will occupy this place again as well. And I guess next turn we'll fight the quest battle. Yes, but fine. Okay, Halun occupy. Is this the same territory or is it a different territory? It is the same. We still have to move back, I guess, towards Svedora and then go over this way. Frankly, it's going to ease the pressure on the Kislevites a little bit if we kill Sarthorael, but at the same time, at least he thus won't be able to trade territories from us to them, and that's a good thing. Anyway, you, raid. And sit here. Casualty punishment minus 30. Yeah, well, if they die, they die. Or we could just replace them, rebuild them, but not here. Oh, wait, this would be raiding our own territory, wouldn't it? Alright, fine. Go into a camp stance then. Can you build these guys here? You can. You know, then replace the ranged ones with even more melee ones. And yeah, the ranged ones do damage, but again, I want ones with a little bit of that augment on them. Frenzy, armor, it's all good stuff. Oh, you can be deleted as well. You only have 2. I guess we'll just keep picking through these guys until we get ones with a higher level. Lovely. Anyway, let's see what else we need to do. First of all, Thramute, you are headed down to Vladi Town, and you will be there fairly soon, in a couple turns. Maybe by the end of this episode, though we do have that quest battle to do, and thus time is limited. First circle will be fine due to the rebellion, so I think we can leave it as it is. In fact, we could, in theory, thus build the Overseer's Lookout. Yeah, might as well. And build all these things up. It's going to be a money-generating territory. I'm going to wait on the weapon burrow a little bit, but we'll build it soon, as we'll want to diversify as soon as we get a couple of provinces that can actually generate money, since the interior of the Hellpit cannot. But now that we have at least the Gates of Hell, it'll be up to about, I don't know, 1,500 relatively shortly, I think. Anyway, the rest of this, I think, is fine. You're still our food-generating province, and I guess that hasn't changed. Frankly, it kind of means that the Overseer's Lookout isn't as necessary as it once was either. But nonetheless, anyway, skip Eminent Rebellion, we know. Building upgrade available, we skip and end turn. Azag the Slaughterer wants a non-aggression pact. We can always do this for now and then betray him later as needed. Why not? Why not? At least this way we won't have to worry about him and his underway stance. Fostering Amity, and we have 500 gold from that. Lovely. Growth Vat Batch available. Growth Vat Batch. I keep wanting to say bat because, I don't know, always got the vampire counts on the mind. There we go. Quest has been issued.
Great adventure beckons. Be wary, though, for while the potential rewards are great, so too are the perils.
Oh, it does still give us this, and it will unlock Goritch, and I guess we'll give this one another one to read, and upkeep production as well. Charge bonus for Skaven saves leaderships for monsters. It's all fine. We'll do this in a second. Teleport. Oh, okay, fine. You have to leave the settlement. Okay, we can't leave the settlement until we go out of that. Okay, Rebellion is fine. Grievous Breeder. Food generated +1. Sure. Good. You, leave this place. I assume he doesn't have an army nearby, so we'll have to head down here. Hopefully these guys don't immediately take it, as that might be something of an annoyance. We need storage caves as well. I mean, we'll need them everywhere. Oh, actually, food has been probably fine for a while now, so we're free to upgrade the next thing while we generate more food, and I believe I said... Ooh, minus 70. Oh, okay, you know what? Let's go Tunnel Expansion 5. I really want that Hellpit breeding efficiency. Oh, but Warp Marrow Infusion, also nice. Yeah, start with Warp Marrow Infusion. Upkeep production in enemy territory. territory. Well, actually, we're mostly in our own territory, aren't we? Ooh, hello. Post-battle chance of stealing magic items, ambushes, more food capacities, evasion when tunneling. It's also some decent stuff. Maybe the anti-attrition thing would be nice. No colonization cost would be nice as well. Oh, we'll want to... Oh, yeah, you know what? Let's get Tunnel Expansion 5 then. Wait until we have more food and then go for 6. And then no colonization cost will allow us to take advantage of the raising settlements and then recolonizing them. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. And just preparing for that time. It makes sense, right? Right. Alright, let's level up and then let's do the quest battle. So, you are finally ready to go through Moulder knowledge and start buffing up those monsters of yours. You guys, let's start from the Warlock Engineer, who I guess one more battle with you before we send you out. You can start standardized firing drill and get as close to ballistics calibration as you can, though. Missile strength, magical attacks, ammunition. Let's start with triangulation. Alright, Packmasters, you are rank 10, meaning you can get the other points in Tide of Death, and get Keratin Stick and Master Moulder as well. Well, you know what, let's get Tough as Nails for the quest battle for more quest money. You're still holding on to your points. More quest XP. That's the thing that I meant when I confused myself. You can go for the miscast base chance reduction, I think. He constantly miscasts, and it's kind of annoying. You will not get any value out of Esteemed Combatant in this particular battle, so let's grab you Sneaky, I think. You're a pretty big target now on your big ol' ogre. You, our highest level Packmaster, we're going through Creature Musk, so keep on doing that, I guess. Actually, you know what, let's get Tough as Nails. And then we'll go back to Creature Musk. Alright, let's give this a read and let's do Throt's quest battle. Let's see what this says. Ooh. That's a decent pile of units. We got some Chosen in there, which in SFO are extremely scary. A Giant as well. You're gonna have to make use of all that anti-large. Well, we gotta get Goritch on field and spin to win as fast as we can. Anyway, lately there have been numerous complaints from rat lords yet to receive their regular shipments of rat ogres and assorted abominations. Throt's underlings back in Hellpit had clearly lost control of the murderous creations housed within its unspeakable breeding pits, or so he thought. Throt returned, expecting to find the city's 9 circles overrun by escaped and rampaging abominations, but the truth was far more infuriating. The raging hordes of chaos blockade Hellpit's iron and bone gates. No doubt these ruinous whelps, which are my favorite kind of whelps, are seeking retribution for their previous foiled attempt to invade Clan Moulder's carrion-adorned stronghold. Now as then, Throt will drive the spiky things out, but not before harvesting the choicest morsels for his ghastly experiments, and equally ghastly appetite. Daw, he hungry. Anyway, there we go. Valiant defeat casualties high, but okay, I guess enemy reinforcements must be something because we got some great reinforcements plus Goritch himself. Alright, should be pretty good. Away we go. Bloodthirsty warriors of chaos surround the fleshy walls of Hellpit, nightmarish stronghold of Skaven Clan Moulder. Their frenzied presence at its corpse-adorned gates prevents fresh shipments of rat ogres and other such abominations from reaching other clans.
Full chaos things attack Hellpit again. Why they not learn lesson last time? Big problem, yes? Hellpit not send abomination monsters to other clans till spiky things gone. Why Goritch thing not stop kill chaos things yet? Fool rat ogre, stupid man thing brain make it weak frail. Me must do all things. Make nasty spiky things die quick fast, or other clans be mad. Keeps me from lab, and me so hungry. Maybe me eat Goritch thing once chaos things dead. Maybe me put Goritch thing brain into Plague Toad. Clan needs.
Oh, that speech, that was amazing. And the psychotic laughter at putting Goritch's brain in a plague toad. That's great. Definitely one of my favorite speeches. So Throt was surprisingly talkative there. And I like all the noises that he was making. Like, this is grumbling and all of that. It was great. I love it. Anyway, the annoying thing about this quest is it seems like the sort of battle starts. There's a few quests in the game that do this. And during the speech, and the Chaos Giant and the Chaos Spawn have been attacking us this entire time, taking down 50% of the HP from the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers and damaging the Warlock Engineer as well. Out here, Goritch is surrounded by piles of Forsaken and Chaos Spawn, and we're going to just have to book it towards him fast as we can. Fortunately, Throt is pretty darn capable at booking it now that he has that banner of swiftness, and I'm still laughing at the speech, and the Packmaster pal over there. So they should be able to close fairly quickly. Anyway, the Giant may have been attacking us while we could not fight back, but it's in a pretty bad place now, getting attacked by the Bonebreaker and Chieftain, the two mutant Rat Ogres, and its Chaos Spawn minions getting attacked by the much more horrifying Hell Pit Abominations as well. I think these guys are out of the picture, while Throt has closed the distance now with Goritch and is helping him out. And there we go. We popped Remoldered on him because he was down to like 30% of his HP. Unfortunately, it's a fair bit of healing. Now that should keep him alive for now. And yes, so this is a quest battle that you have to keep Goritch alive or else you lose. So, well, it's a good thing that we have the Brood Horror to be able to get here so quick. Anyway, the enemy does have a couple of units of Chosen, and while we did close the distance with some of our units of Rat Ogres as well, we dealt some damage, but we're now backing off lest we have the Rat Ogres face off against Chosen with Halberds. That's a horrifically bad matchup, and the Rat Ogres would get torn apart by themselves, and especially without any auras from any of their pack leaders, whatever. Looks like an enemy Exalted Hero riding a Manticore drops down, though Throt being here, he should be able to keep Goritch safe, who's, well, dropping in terms of HP again. But we got plenty of units down here, including Throt's summons. The rest of our army is very slowly attempting to approach again the Clan Rats, even though they do move fast compared to regular infantry. It's going to take a while to get there, but fortunately the Mutant Rat Ogres will be able to close the distance much quicker instead. Over all the way on the right flank, we've destroyed one unit of Forsaken by charging them with 2 units of Rat Ogres with a little bit of help from the Wolf Rats. And the Wolf Rats will chase down the fleeing enemy while the Forsaken get destroyed by the Rat Ogres. Fairly decent matchup, I think, for the Rat Ogres here. The Forsaken have very little in the way of defense, and while they do have armor, we have armor piercing on the Rat Ogres, which means we can tear through them rather quickly and then chase them down. And with the Wolf Rats. And there we go. More of our big boys are joining Goritch. Lots of different types of Rat Ogres here in this army, which feels quite appropriate. So if you took Goritch's armor, especially his, I don't know, especially his Power Claw and stuff, and put it on a 40k orc, like you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. He'd fit right in. With his big old Power Claw. Now you gotta love it. And there's the spin to win. Was waiting for him to get at least one off, though I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty of them over the course of the campaign. Not that this particular enemy will, as the Chosen, like the rest of the enemy, have been broken. In fact, one of the Chosen will run at nearly full HP, as we ignored them by spamming summons on top of them, Wolf Rats, and distracted them long enough while we killed off the rest of their army. And there we go. With the completion of this, the quest battle is done. And we acquire both Goritch and the item set for Throt. I was just staring at the Bonebreaker and the Chieftain here and wondering whether we should go for a Chieftain to guard Thankol or whether we should just get a Mutant Rat Ogre. Gonna have to think about that. I will think about it. And I'm taking suggestions as well. But anyway, decisive victory for us. A lovely little fight, but even lovelier speech. Definitely pretty up there. My favorite speeches in the game are definitely remain Heinrich Kemmler's because he's so sassy. It's hilarious. But that was pretty darn nice as well. And I like the sort of ruins that the Skaven settlement and behind us is in. Wait. Have we ever seen this map? I don't think we have. Wait, is this the Hell Pit map? I swear I've never seen this map before, like, with all this stuff back here. Well, it's a shame to have this map exist and then never get the chance to fight on it, game. But Hell Pit is a regular battle map. Why would you keep this map to the quest and not have it activated whenever you fight at Hell Pit? Game, come on. Anyway, a decisive victory. Alright, there we go. Was a little bit dangerous there. Goritch dropped pretty darn low in HP, and if it wasn't for that remoldered ability that we saved to heal him up, he might have gone down. Who knows? I don't remember if he has some kind of, like, post-battle, low HP, near-death ability that regens him. Kind of like Hell Pit Abominations and War Hydras do, but anyway. Pretty neat fight. Lots of damage on one of the Packmasters, 19k. That's probably thanks to the fact that this one was in the battle the second earliest after Throt, as they both ran with their super speed towards Goritch. And yeah, it's another reason why regular infantry don't really fit with the Throt's army, because they're just so slow compared to the Rat Ogres, the Wolf Rats, all the monsters, essentially. So anyway, we got a lovely chunk of change for our trouble, though, and we'll take the money again. Like so, and we'll get ourselves a nice Goritch, who will immediately replace not the Plague Priest, but the Warlock Engineer, who's going to pop back into that Assassin army. I wonder, what's the chances of you stealing tech here? Not going to risk it. He'll just die. And it's not like we can keep doing it every turn anyway. Slaanesh giggle. And, Visktrin's Death Squad. We could pop him in there as well. Oh, we also got the casualty or punishment rate. And yes, Goritch, commander of the standing army of Clan Moulder at the Hell Pit, now stands ready to join Throt in the field. Out here, then, Throt can contain his creation's meteoric successes under his own command, and Goritch gets to sate his berserker lust for blood once more. Alright, what was I doing before I immediately... Alright. Warlock Engineer, that's you. Alright, you go here. These guys will... Oh, you can attack... Well, you can besiege it. I wonder if they'd sally out. I'd really prefer to fight them in the field. Who knows, they might, though. Alright, you go here. You have 20 out of 20 troops. I would like you to besiege the place. And we'll get rid of the regular Skaven slave. We'll also start building these. We'll see if they sally out. It would be better if we didn't have to get Throt to come all the way over here and, well, do everything himself. Again, fantastic quest speech. Disband you. And then pop you in. Alright, you guys have not reached rank 10, so you can keep saving points. You can get Infiltrator for more damage on these guys. Oh, you know what? You two can be replaced with now upgraded to a couple of Gutter Runner Slingers. Lovely. And I guess we can get you to Gutter Runner Slingers with poison. Oh, well, they're part of the same tree, right? Yeah, you get them both as soon as you reach the tier 3. And I think poison is something we want. The poison reduces their range by a fair bit, but it does, poison enemies, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's go 2 of these, and then can you guys be upgraded as yet? No. I wanted 2 and 2, but I guess no dice, at least not yet. Anyway, they'll get more Brood Horrors as well, and maybe a couple of Pack Masters to lead said Brood Horrors into combat, though I'll think about it. Anyway, Goritch. I want to test 2 things. First of all, Castellan of Hellpit gives charge bonus and leadership for the army, and that evisceration spin to win vortex. I just want to see, other than his own personal sort of damage-dealing buffs... Oh, he has Guardians as well. That's Throt's greatest creation. Ah, okay, this is what I wanted. Melee attack plus 8 for monster units. More growth juice gain from battles. Alright, so it's just a straight-up melee attack gain. On the bright side, though, it does mean that we are free to get mutations that reduce melee attack on monsters in favor of that. Ooh, also Spell Shield. Nice. Alright. Okay, you're gonna grab that. Oh, that kills your movement range, doesn't it? Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Huh. You won't suffer attrition here now? Oh, because we're immune to attrition thanks to the casualty replenishment thing. Or the, yeah, well, it just calls it casualty replenishment, but the quest bonus. Alright, fair enough. You can then march stance as far as you can go here. Kill off this guy and then move back. And, oh, I did not realize they had another army there. Huh. That's a problem. I did not see that. And the reason that that's a problem is that they'll probably attack us with both of these armies then. Alright, nothing you can get would be helpful here. Just had to double check. You guys are stuck as you are, you. We could get, let's say, another point in Warp Lightning. Death Frenzy might be nice to buff up the Skaven slaves, I think. Yeah, you know what, let's get you a second point in Death Frenzy. Wait. Yeah, we needed to be able to overcast the spell. Otherwise, it's not so useful. Alright, well, we'll see what we can do. See if you guys can win that. And, well, yeah, the big issue is, will we be able to fire? Because if our units can't, well, fire off their range attacks, then, you know, we won't be able to do anything at all. But I guess we'll just have to find out. Throt, you can channel for once, and we'll level you up next time, or probably next turn. You know what, just in case, I'm going to say pop off the 13th scheme. It's, I know, we've had it for a while, and we can also re-up the loyalty of whoever lost a little bit of loyalty there. Alright, anything else we need to do, Thramute? Still heading down to Vladdy Town. Fairly quickly, I might add. I'm gonna get our first Undercity up very shortly. Skid Ice is fine, you're just standing there. You, ow. Okay, yeah, this one shouldn't be able to reach us to immediately jump on you. Slaanesh, giggle. Also, while we're here at the first gate, let us upgrade the Nest Nursery to the max just for the additional increase in growth. Now let's upgrade the Giant Fungi Caverns. Let's, you know, we might as well get the Weapons Burrow just so I don't have to check this frickin' territory every single bloody turn. And yeah, just build the Clan Pit here. And just so that we have access to it. Admittedly, it might be more useful to have the Overseer's Lookout, but we can always replace one of the breeding pits with an Overseer's Lookout later on, so I think it's fine to get a Clan Pit. And we'll want to be able to build Chieftains here. So, oh, actually, speaking of heroes, what do we have here? Yes, we have another Poxbringer Pack Master. We'll need what? Wait. Was it Bolster Defense? A moment, 1 second. You. Deathbringer, Bolstered Attack. Poxbringer, Bolstered Defense. Yes, okay. I just wanted to make sure that that was the ones, because I want to have 2 and 2 of these types so that we can essentially separate them to move into different areas, but with maximum support. Oversized Warp Blade. That Warlock Engineer is overcompensating for something, and... oh. We don't have any more capacity. Huh, I forget. What do you have to do to get bells? To get massive amount of... do bells still exist? Or did they remove them? I do wonder. I also feel that... wait. Anybody here absolute garbage? I want to keep the Wolf Rats. I was going to say, replace these guys with Ixis Triads, at least for now. That's a Frenzied unit. These guys are unstable, but they'll still be useful in a fight. I guess you're then the way to go. Disband, and we'll transfer the Ixis Triad somewhere else afterwards. We could do the Viscrit's Death Squad, but I feel like it's It's nice, but it's also, well, actually they're identical in terms of expense. But I've decided on this, so this is the one that we're going to do. We need the anti-armor a little bit more, the weeping. Well, actually, they both have it, don't they? Just shut up. Skip and turn. Nobody say anything. Alright, it looks like they will indeed attack. I'm gonna say we need to be able to tie up the Flamers of Tzeentch, which is going to be absolutely critical to our ability to win this fight, and therefore we're going to need to increase the... and we're gonna use some food to get Menaces below up and running. Hopefully it's not too much. We do have the Moulder clan stone to rely upon and such, but, well, nonetheless. Let's go for 6. We should get a significant amount of food, 20 plus back from the fight, and we're maxed out anyway, because we were saving food to get the next tech. Go! Should be a darn great fight. Alrighty, simple and to the point, which kind of makes sense for an assassin. Here we go, the potentially last hurrah of Sarthorael's Watchers. As we've destroyed Sarthorael's main stack, he is unlikely to have more than this one available to him as well. So if we should win here and take out his capital on top of that, then, well, his faction will be broken, if not destroyed. That said, it's a pretty big if, as this should be a very tough battle for us. Gutter Runner Slingers do start the day getting hurt by that blue fires. I should have probably tried to counter that with the concealment bombs before those flew on in, but oh well. I'm going to back off and of course chuck those shurikens and sling away at the enemy screamers, which will give chase to us. Now, that's alright though, as I'm sure the shuriken will do plenty of damage to them, and though the screamers may be anti-large, we can definitely press them with the units of brood horrors. It looks like the enemy's getting a few volleys off with its flamers, but we can't have that, so we're going to summon a unit of menace below clan rats right on top of them. They won't win, they will get surrounded and obliterated, but they will distract them hopefully long enough for us to deal with the screamers. And several of them are pretty badly beat up at this point as well. We've got pretty decent missile strength on our Night Runners with slings, and I'm sure on our Shuriken units as well. So we can definitely dish out the damage. It's just that the Night and Gutter Runners are extremely fragile, and when the enemy does close the distance, which it definitely did with at least a few units, in particular the fast-flying Screamers, then those units that get hit by those get torn to shreds. Anyway, gonna have a little bit of a range shootout against this unit of Exalted Pink Horrors. We'll see how well that goes for us, considering they have 30% physical resistance, while we send another unit of Night Runners in to essentially distract the other unit of Pink Horrors. They'll probably fight relatively evenly with each other, so we do have to be careful about our own unit taking too much damage. Anyway, it looks like the enemy Flamers have at last defeated that one unit of summoned clan rats, but not to worry, we've got another one where that came from via the menace below. Slings and shuriken keep coming down upon the enemy, though the ammunition is fairly slight on the shuriken units, and they will be running out or are already out. Yeah, definitely that means we're going to need to make good use of ammunition bonus traits from heroes. Otherwise this army will be not as effective, obviously. Gutter Runners and Night Runners may be okay in melee, but they're still not really meant for it. Anyway, it looks like the first enemy army is by and large destroyed, maybe 20% of it remaining, and we've got the reinforcements coming in, but so does the enemy. Big piles of troops from both sides, and the enemy has a lot more screamers and flamers where that came from. So we're definitely going to need the flesh wall of the Skaven slaves. On the bright side, this unit of flamers is pretty much done, held back or held down by the units of summoned clan rats, and then destroyed by the range units. Lovely. Getting a little bit of help from the brood horrors, applying that toxic venom to the enemy. They got warp flame on them as well. Interesting. Well, they'll have nothing on him soon because, well, that unit at least will be dead. Anyway, here come more Screamers. By the looks of it, they will be able to reach our lines before the clan rats do. And now that we're out of shurikens, essentially, and only slinger units remaining with ammunition, that means this unit won't take quite as much damage as the others did. Still actually fairly okay. 30% of their HP lost as they close the distance. But that's alright. Even with us having run out of shuriken, we can still close the distance with the Ix's Triads, which will apply their anti-large halberds to dealing with those Screamers, which they do pretty darn quick. There is another Screamer unit out here, however we do send our units of Assassins, both the Master Assassin and the regular Assassin, at them. I'm actually really surprised that the non-Master Assassins, the regular Assassins, don't have a ranged attack. Like, very surprised. It's not like range attacking lords are going to be that strong anyway. I feel like they should be a little bit more like witch hunters in that regard. Just give them the ability to toss a shuriken, just like the Master Assassin does. Would be nice, I'm sure. But they are supposed to be heroes after all. Anyway, looks like the first army is destroyed completely, and not a moment too soon, as plenty more enemies are moving on. I'm just going to speed this up while we reform and get ready to send the giant pile of Skaven slaves at them. More likely than not, we're going to take a fair few volleys from the enemy flamers as we run towards them. You were supposed to do that on cue. There we go, and that I'm sure will burninate a fair few of those Skaven slaves, but we got plenty more where that came from. Just bury the enemy in bodies as we've done before and will do many a time again. Prevent the enemy range units from firing, tie the enemy up, and we'll have the other units dish out the damage. Though it would be nice for the shurikens to help out with them out of ammunition. It's mostly left to the gutter runners and night runners with slings to do the work. And of course the poisons of the brood horrors, as well as the Eshin Triads and our lord and heroes. Anyway, speaking of the brood horrors, they ran through the enemy army and have closed the distance with the second unit of the warp fire throwers. I wish. As in, I wish we had some of our own on field. The flamers of Tzeentch, which are nearly out of the picture. And, of course, we can still get use out of the shuriken-chucking Night Runners. They may be out of ammo, but they can still rear charge the enemy and dish out a decent bit of damage. They have very little in the way of melee defense, but their melee attack is pretty decent. Their weapon strength is kind of garbage at only 28, but that's alright. Less than a unit of pink horrors. But that's fine. They're buffed up, and I mean, it's appropriate. They've got numbers, they've got shuriken, and they're a hybrid unit as well. And 140 units to their numbers, so compared to the horrors, the blue horrors have 160, and I don't remember how many the pink horrors have, but I would assume that it should be 80. So yeah, it does then make sense. In fact, just by virtue of sheer numbers, we would thus hit considerably harder than they do. Minus the lack of melee defense, of course. Anyway, enemy, nice thing about the mono-god factions is, I guess, the color coordination that they get. See all those blue horrors fighting together with those spawn of Tzeentch. Luckily for us, the spawn of Tzeentch are the most numerous of the Chaos spawn in SFO with 24 units, which for them means that they have lower HP per unit, even if they can thus, spread themselves out in more of an area. But we can bring them down, which we are most definitely doing so with gusto, or doing with gusto. The battle turns fully in our favor. It looks like the demons have melted away. The marauders are being chased down. A few rockets from our own engineer come down into the piles of Skaven slaves, but it looks like the massive bodies will bring down the chaos spawn at last, and the battle is ours. We're going to chase down every enemy we can to make sure that they are all destroyed, and hopefully this will allow us to immediately capture Sarthorael's capital. A lovely fight. I did promise a couple of big fights in this episode, which we most definitely got. Alrighty, there we go. A very nice fight. Certainly had to work for the victory, but once the waves of rat flesh arrived, we were able to simply, well, hold the enemy off with the tide of Skaven slaves. Juiced up Skaven slaves, I might add. That worked out pretty darn nicely. In terms of damage, we got 20 and 15k on the two brood horrors, thanks to their application of toxic venom. One of the Night Runners got 12k, which is pretty solid, or at least the Shuriken Night Runners. The Sling Night Runners seem to have done a little bit better, and, well, one of the Gutter Runner Slingers didn't really do anything, but it got kind of obliterated by a unit of, I think it was one of the Screamers rather than the Flamers. We were able to tie up the Flamers. They did get a few volleys off and still did manage to do decent bits of damage. Got some decent help from the Extras Triads here as well, so they were helpful. Anyway, a really nice fight, certainly not a valiant defeat, and we get to occupy the place. Now the question is, do we... this place we could take at tier 4. Really would have been nice to be able to take the other place at tier 4, but yeah, we could take this place at tier 3, or we could just grow it to tier 3, and frankly, I feel like in this particular location we might be better off just growing it to tier 3. It'll grow to tier 3 rather quickly. Frankly, I'm not even sure that the tier 3 is worth it. Tier 4, yes. Tier 3, kind of iffy. Yeah, you know what, just take it at tier 1 for now. There's nothing critical that we have to immediately have here. Loot and occupy. Yes. Alrighty, enemy killed in battle, and why in the ever-loving fun? Nice try, YouTube. As Throt taking attrition. Mutagenic energy. Wait. Village can't see us. I guess Sarthorael has access to this annoyingness too. Right. And what is this? What are you doing, Crack-a-Drac? You're making me nervous. Are you really gonna try this? This place can't really defend itself. You know what? Just in case, we're going to go Warlord. Ow. Huh. Bonuses for rat ogres. Interesting. I was gonna say I want another frontline rat. Should just in case maybe get another one of these guys up and running then. Wait, what's the difference between Shuriken Mayhem is range and missile strength, whereas... Oh, Eshin Discipline is speed and weapon strength. Wait, you're telling me that speed and weapon strength, but only for Night Runners and Gutter Runners? You know, the stuff that you want on Eshin Triads... to a degree, and the Death Runners, but it doesn't apply to them? Huh, that's kind of surprising. I would have thought that this would be for the range units and this would be for the melee units, but not really. No, oh well. Not a big deal, those are some pretty darn strong units anyway. Enemy killed in battle, Master Mason, technology researched. I'll take a look at you in a second. Nemesis Crown been found right beside our guy here, huh? That's interesting. Anyway, growth vat batch available. Hey, I said it right this time. Good job, Ruinous. Maybe we want to get this guy with ominous rumblings. Oh my lord, you are expensive. But it is what it is. Just in case we'll get you, I figure that we will want to get some warp flayers up and running. Doom flayers up and running fairly soon. And get some plate claw catapults as well. They're expensive to recruit, but they're super cheap to, well, maybe not super cheap, but they're very cheap to upkeep. So a Skaven slave army will suddenly become a lot stronger if we get one of these. We don't necessarily have to recruit them with this guy, because we can recruit them at first circle as well. So there is that. But either way, what I'd like you to do is, just in case the dwarfs come down, you're gonna get a pile of Skaven slaves. Can they defend third circle? Maybe. Maybe not. You know what? Maybe we need the range units more there. We'll see if those guys actually try to attack us or not. But just in case, it's not like this cost us anything. Like so. And you know what? You can do more of these guys as well. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. Alright, now Throt. I'm exceedingly annoyed by the mutagenic energies. I am not surprised, however. Okay, so we do need to fight this, but at the same time, the issue is this. We won't take... You know what? I think I'm going to do this little fight against the Skaven rebels between the episodes because it's a waste of time right now, and while we could fight it, it's an uninteresting battle. But I would auto-resolve it, but we have to preserve our units because the mutagenic energies guarantees a attrition turn, and I'm not willing to risk a unit or two dying just by virtue of that, so I'll just do that between the episodes. Anyway, in the meantime, I would like you. I would like to join your war against Averland and Visenland and Nuln, and get non-aggression pact and trade agreement with you, and take some of your money. Like so. Maybe I shouldn't have taken his money so that he survived, but anyway. Then you, Thramute, you are going all the way to Castle Drakenhof. Right here, and you will establish the Warlock Lab. This guy might be a little bit upsetty about it, but we should still be friendly enough that it won't matter. Like so. And -5, yeah, not a big deal. Alright, now I want to see. So this gives us experience per turn plus 50 for Warlock Engineers, research rate plus 10, hero capacity plus 1 is nice, as we'll be able to get another one up and running immediately. Do we have anything here that's particularly interesting? Or do we just go straight for food generation and some money generation? Income from all buildings, local region owner. We actually don't want to screw Vlad over too hard because we want his units, so there's that. Food generation is an option. I forget what thing spreads under cities. Oh, it's this one. -2 food per turn, eh? But nonetheless, it's probably something that we should invest in. I also don't want this place to be destroyed because it's the Warlock Lab, so it's mostly just here to spread out, but also to, yeah. So we'll go for the subterranean mining pit. And then, you know what, let's maybe reduce the chances that this place gets found out. Visibility over the region is lost. Skaven unlocks technologies. Campaign movement range, campaign line of sight. Murder holes. Wait, that's not the one I'm thinking of, is it? Yeah. 2,000. You know, we'll do the murder holes for now. We'll just delete them later. I don't like the idea that the place might get destroyed. I don't know whether the AI is actually willing to destroy those places, but I'd rather not risk it all the same. Anyway, there was stuff that I wanted, namely... There's actually a bunch of stuff that we wanted here. We were going to get instability harnessing techniques, so as we will soon be raising stuff. And we'll need more rat force, so we'll probably have to spend some money and some food on getting a little bit more. Oh, I also want to get flesh stitching protocols for the additional mass for all those monsters. Also, just want to double check the flesh labs. Soon we'll get another release of units, eh? Alright, anyway, for now, you are going to head to Kasserk. This place won't rebel immediately, will it? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, we still have one turn of the casualty replenishment rate. Anyway, you're gonna go here. I don't trust these guys not to attack, so we will definitely reinforce with the Skaven slave army. Actually, we will... No, we can still march stance. We are immune to attrition. Actually, wait. I think it won't count as immune to attrition because we become unimmune to attrition for next turn. I'm also extremely annoyed that mutagenic energies effectively bypasses this. That doesn't make us immune to attrition. Well, this was the time to heal to full, and the damn you, Zinch. Oh, but I'm not surprised. Anyway, you will have to buff up the Moulder knowledge because you are still using those brood horrors, and then you guys are waiting for your rank ups. Clearly we ran out of ammunition fairly quickly, so we will need arms dealer as well as triangulation. And we might even need a second Warlock Engineer for additional ammunition. I don't know, wait, do these guys give them additional ammo? Oh, they do. 8% versus 20%. We'll keep one Warlock Engie, at least for now, and then we'll see. Alright, either way, this hasn't changed the fact that you will want to auto-resolve this, auto. And it looks like damage-wise we're pretty okay. Occupied tier 1. Lovely, and then don't collect the income and then go into expansionist planning, and then we'll move back to Svedora, presumably immediately after. And I guess Fedora is the place that we'll want to level up, so we'll level it up next turn, but we can go for the, let's say, Rattling Warrens to grow the place quickly to start off. Yeah. Alright, otherwise I think we are pretty much done this turn, so this is where I'm going to call the episode here. We had a lot of good fights. We had the quest battles for Throt and have completed the set. In fact, wow, his army's so cheap. 1900 for all of this. Pretty darn good. It's actually cheaper than this army, and in fact it'll get even cheaper as these guys level up as well. We've unlocked Goritch. We've got the Helpit and essentially our staging ground for the Moulderization of the world as well, which is pretty darn nice. We found Vladdy, with whom we have started our alliance and gotten our first Undercity underway, so that hopefully it can start spreading through his territory, and we'll hopefully get that defensive alliance up and running, and we'll get another scout going soon. Next time we fight, probably finish off Sarthorael, and then probably turn our sights to dwarfs, Kislevites, and whatever else we find around us, and hopefully get a little bit more in the way of units for our new armies, so that they can diversify. Anyway, more rats to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially, oh, I forgot about the threshold thing. Well, I'll talk about it next time. Anyway, likes and comments determine length and campaign episode length and all that, so yeah, if you like the long episodes, don't forget those. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.